Old densities fade, crystals humming. Sacred grids remade, vibrational shift from 3D to 5D and beyond. Galactic family, eternal bond. Ascending now to the 7th dimension.
Yo, did you like that?
That was sick.
Dude, that was rad, right? That was a world debut, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Light Interviews. I'm your host, Rion here at Team Light headquarters in Sedona, Arizona, and I am here with my brother from another mother, the one and only Mr. Brad Olsen. Brad, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, Rion, doing great. Thanks for having me on Team Light.
We're blowing up. I don't know what's going on. I'm working on an album right now. I'm on Spotify, and my name is DJ Starlord. No space, just all caps, DJ Starlord. I am having a lot of fun making music, and I'm really into writing the music and the lyrics, and I'm working on some stuff. It's pretty cool. So yeah, with the new software and stuff out there, it's pretty interesting what you can do. But Brad, you got a new book coming out, brother.
It just came out.
Why don't we tell the whole planet what's popping and what's going on out there? So it's called Secrets of Antarctica, correct?
Yep.
Well, dude, tell
Antarctica, the untold history of the ice continent.
Ooh.
It just came out on January 1st. The first print run is already sold out. So we're doing a second print run that's going to ship this week. So I'm super excited. The best launch and release I've ever had.
So, well, you're getting better. This is the 11th book you've written, correct? Congratulations. I mean, that's lucky number 11 there. So give us a little teaser. I mean, we're going to get the book and all the publishing stuff. It's right in the description on all the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, X. And if you guys are watching right now live, feel free to share out to all your friends and family. But Brad, tell us a little bit about what's in store for everybody in that book.
Well, sure. As you might know, and some of your listeners, I went down to Antarctica 7 years ago. Exactly 7 years ago, I was getting ready to board a sailboat called the Chief One with my girlfriend at the time and 12 other people, including one American and 11 Poles. It was a Polish vessel from Gdansk, Poland, called the Chief One. And we sailed from Ushuaia, Argentina, to Antarctica. And the first place we went was a Polish base called Arktowski. And we brought them fresh fruit and vegetables, and they were super stoked. They let us come ashore and take a shower, and the one and only time get on the internet, tell everybody we made it safe. But the Drake Passage, man, that kicked my butt. That was the stormiest seas of the world. And when we got through it, boy, did it feel good to step on terra firma and get a shower in. But during that trip, I started writing my first presentation called The Hidden Anomalies of Antarctica, which I've been giving at conferences across the country for the last 6 years. All the while, the same information I'm parlaying into the new book, as well as a whole bunch of other new stuff.
Mhm.
And now I have a brand new presentation, which I'll be giving at
Yes,
the
Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
in support of the book. So this is great. It's all about. So when I was working on this book the
Mhm.
last year, really intensely, this guy came into my life named Frank Ridge Digger is his name, and he is this Antarctica expert in Europe, and he had come across these U-boat maps from the German U-boats going deep under the ice of Antarctica. And Rion, I think this is the smoking gun that the Germans set up a base deep under the ice, as well as penetrating well deep into the continent, almost to the distance of the South Pole. And of course, the South
Gotcha.
Pole is up on the polar plateau. It's 2 miles thick of ice, right?
Mm.
And this is where Brian S., one of Linda Moulton Howe's whistleblowers, flew over the no-fly zone on an
Yep.
emergency evacuation, and they saw the hole in the ice. So there's a massive hole in the ice. This
Oh,
is also written about in Admiral Byrd's diary.
yes.
And he first saw it. And I will show the maps of the very first flight in 1929, where he
Mhm.
gets to the pole, and you'd think, yeah, make a fist pump. We did it. But no, he goes out into what is today the no-fly zone.
Mhm.
And I think he saw the hole in the ice. And then he goes back during Operation High Jump in late 1946 and flies into it. And there he
Whoa.
encountered an inner Earth, or I guess you could say under the ice. It doesn't necessarily have to be inside the Earth because there's 2 miles of ice just
Right.
down at the continental level. And I should also point out that Antarctica is the most volcanically active continent in the world. There's 14 known active volcanoes and 93 geothermal
Oh.
heat events. So you would have the propensity to create these large
Caverns.
ice domes. Yeah.
Mhm. So I was curious, did you see Linda Moulton Howe's new expose on Gaia when she was talking about one of her contacts going into Antarctica and the doors, and it has the inner sun? That was very interesting. I think in our lifetime, Brad, we are going to get some clear answers on Antarctica. My main thing is with all of the different civilizations and, like, basically where all the bases are, they're all on the, northeastern side. When you were visiting there, I mean, has anyone said that or anyone talked about like sailing around, you know what I mean? Antarctica, like what's on the other side? Because I know there's a lot of listeners out there. I know it's probably, some magic in your book. Obviously, I don't want to give any spoilers, but what are some things that you find fascinating about Antarctica that maybe someone has never even heard about? Some people don't even know about Admiral Byrd, which for me is hard to, believe. Didn't we go down there in the 40s with 40,000 men? And yeah, 40,000 men is what it was, something like that. And the story goes, there were UFOs or UAPs coming out of the water, cutting ships in half with lasers. You want to go a little bit into that? Because some people that might just be watching us for the first time, they don't know this stuff's documented.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the most intriguing evidence about Antarctica has come out of the Soviet Union after the Soviet Union collapsed. You could go to Moscow with a suitcase full of hard currency and talk to people who worked for the KGB and say, hey, I want an alien autopsy video. Okay, here you go. I want a UFO crash video. Of course, this is long before AI, before any of this stuff could be faked. And it's on the internet now. But also, there was this journalist named Nikolai Subotin who bought on the black market all these U-boat maps, stacks of them, and even shows them in a video where he's flipping through them all. And we've got screen captures and videos of them. Also notebooks from some of the officers that worked down there that were setting up the German bases in New Schwabenland. And researchers like Turkzinski, who said that they built the New Berlin base with the same designs that they were going to use for old Berlin in Germany, if they didn't lose the war. I don't know if you remember Albert Speer. He had these big designs with domes, and he was going to redesign Berlin. They used it down there in New Berlin instead, because they had to pull out of Germany, and they brought everything down there, including the UFOs designs they were working on.
It's incredible. It's just very interesting to me with, I believe, the main reason they don't want us going down there is because the last, polar flip or the magnetic flip,
right.
Probably around Atlantis time, 12,500 years ago, or 12,800, I should say. Antarctica was a luscious area. Yeah. You know what I mean? You want, again, with people that are new to the subject, before the last pole flip, when Atlantis went down, Antarctica, as we see it, that was not, the South Pole. It was a tropical region, and there was an entire advanced ancient civilization there. So besides the reptilians and the draconian being there, and the Sakaar coming in and finding, all this stuff, mixing with the domestic reptilians, and the Waffenhoffen, I like to call them the Black SS, or, I don't know, the guys that did a partnership with the reptilians to get technology,
Yeah.
What are some, things that maybe people haven't heard about Antarctica that actually has a lot more factual evidence to back that up? We know the Nazis and the Germans went there. We know that Admiral Byrd went there to try to actually put an end to it. And then we also know that, during Project Paperclip, we brought in a lot of German Nazi scientists into the United States, and Van Braun and everything. But what do you think is down there? Besides, what do you really think's down there that all the nations on Earth agreed, okay, we won't go down there. We're not going to let any of our civilian population down there. We all agree. What do you think they saw that was like, we can't let them see this? I like your interpretation, because I think you have a better idea of where I'm going with this.
Yeah. Well, just a little background. So after Operation High Jump, which was a 2-month mission that got called off, it was supposed to go 6 months. Admiral Byrd said that we're going down there, and our mission is military in nature, which is a very interesting choice of words. And he was not one to mince his words. So I think he meant exactly what he said. They got their ass handed to them by craft coming up out of the water. And again, this is from Soviet intelligence that knew we got our ass kicked at high jump. Of course, U.S. intelligence, naval intelligence, they're not going to tell you the true story. We got egg in our face. So they're going to keep this as top secret as possible. And in fact, Operation High Jump and Operation Argus, which were high altitude nuclear bomb tests that took place in the late 1950s, is still top secret. You still can't even do a Freedom of Information Act to get this information out. And so Operation Argus, I think, was our U.S. response to getting our ass kicked at high jump. And we nuked New Schwabenland, but it really had no effect. I mean, they were so burrowed in, they were so deep down in Antarctica that we couldn't get them out. And so what's really interesting, and this is what a lot of people don't know, is immediately following Operation Argus, they struck a truce with the Pentagon. And that is when the Antarctica Treaty was ratified in the late 1950s. And the very first clause was that there would be no testing of nuclear bombs. Now, right. Why would they make that such a high priority unless they've already been used? And so the Antarctica Germans, they don't like to be called Nazis anymore, by the way. They're the Antarctica Germans. And they basically, they got their Honeyboot craft, their UFO technology.
We're the Antarctica Germans now. It's not the 40s. Get it together. Like, whatever,
exactly. I mean, it's a charged word. They don't like that.
Yeah, well, I get it. I get it. My whole thing is like, I don't know what you want to call yourself, but since you guys are so advanced with your technology, I mean, what's stopping you from taking over a radio station on the planet and translating in every single language the truth of the last 60 years? My thing with this is with disclosure. Hey, bro, with disclosure in these guys, I mean, a lot of this intel, you have to remember a lot of this technology that we're beginning to play with, this AI stuff and, whatnot. We all knew Soros had Aladdin back in the 90s. That's why these guys were using artificial intelligence to make all their trades. They're not more intelligent than us. Please look at Soros and his son. His son is right out of a paper bag. But what I'm trying to get to is they had access to technology before we did. They had a decade head start. Can you imagine a 20-year head start on the rest of the planet? So what I'm getting to with a lot of these technologies and DARPA, and their point man Musk and all of these things, what I'm really asking is, like, when we think of disclosure, we think of government agencies per se coming out and speaking the truth and telling us what we've been doing. This narrative of we can't tell them how many things we have because, they would all get very upset that we've had this technology for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Solar Warden is 80 years old.
Right.
So for me and for the public and everyone watching us across the planet, listen, I'm kind of done with, pointing a finger. I think the planet just wants the truth. I don't think there is a whole, we're going to get our signs out and walk down the street and be like, we're really upset with you. Like, it's bullshit. That's a story your grandfather told you, who's now dead in the ground and 85 years old. I'm trying to say for all of us in these generations, we deserve the truth and we deserve the technology you guys have been hiding. I watched a documentary on Ogle, O-G-L-E, the guy that invented the carburetor in the 70s. They got 100 or 200 miles to the gallon that they, the oil companies took out. It's on Gaia right now. Yeah. I'm just trying to say for all of these things and all these narratives out there, the more you play with this AI stuff, the more you see the algorithms and how they actually perceive, how we perceive reality and what we're allowed to view. So what I'm telling you, Brad, is that it's time for them to open that Pandora's box, open the vaults, declassify everything, because they're declassifying things, just like you said, that are 50 years old.
Right.
Everyone that's involved is dead and in the ground. Like, who are you hiding it from? So that's my whole thing, that I'm trying to be a voice of reason here. I'm like, if you're waiting for the population to go, hey, I would like that information, please. It's time to start releasing that stuff. And it doesn't have to be a fusion drive from a spacecraft coming in from 3i Atlas. It can be, hey, here's 200 miles to the gallon. Thanks so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole disclosure thing needs to get a little more grounded and a little more real for the rest of the people out there. And I know in Antarctica, there are so many things. I would just like to know about the ancient race that lived there. I would like to see the statues. I would like to see the technology. I would like to see the beings that were locked in ice because the pole shifted so fast, it flash froze the city. You want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know a lot of, I know there's a lot of speculative things, but what are some more little intricate things you've heard about Antarctica and what's really there?
Well, so the Nazis during World War II and before, they had made some treaties with the reptilians and the Greys, but the Greys are kind of like the minions for the reptilians. They get their marching orders from them. And the reptilians told them where a defunct base was located, happened to be in New Schwabenland, happens to be the reason they chose that area. And they found this abandoned base and just built point 211, base 211 there. They also built under the ice the New Berlin base, which I think is in the domain of the Ariani, which is what Admiral Byrd called and described that civilization down there. And I've located another location in New Schwabenland called the Thule Refuge, which was a third base. So, and they're probably all interconnected in the under ice network, which, by the way, when they were doing those scans of Giza Plateau last year and coming out with the schematics of what it looks like underneath the Giza Plateau, same thing in Antarctica. They've been doing these scans that are showing it's an entirely new environment down there, unexplored territory, which probably has animals and fish and other life forms that have never been discovered before. It really is
it's a completely new world. It's like a new world. Okay. Totally. Okay. So you probably know a lot more about the geography of the location. How big is Antarctica compared to Africa? mean, you know what I mean? Compared to the continents, like how large is it?
Okay, so Antarctica is the 5th largest continent. Africa is the 2nd largest, so Africa's bigger. But Antarctica is about 2 Australias or 2 lower 48s in the US. So it's huge, it's massive. And getting around is very difficult, very expensive because you have to bring everything in.
Everything with you.
Yeah. So I priced out trips because I'd like to go back there with a film crew because I know a lot of the locations to film at.
Put me in, coach.
Ian wants to go.
Yeah, put me in, coach. I'm going to Antarctica. All right.
Ready to play.
I'm ready. Look, I'm ready to play, and I'm ready to pay a pilot some cold hard cash and be like, hey, what's it going to take to keep flying, due west?
Yeah.
I got a GoPro up my sleeve. So what do you think about the territories outside of Antarctica? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't have rhymes or reasons, but I know there's a lot of theories out there about the ice wall. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a misnomer. I saw the ice shelf. It's
Okay.
very impressive, and it's 30 stories tall, and it's a giant ice sheet. And they come off. They're calving all the time. So we even saw one break off. They're really impressive. Right. But it's hollow underneath. It's an ice shelf. A wall implies that it goes all the way down to the ground, and they don't. They've sent probes underneath the ice shelf, and we even met scuba divers who did some scuba dives under the ice shelf. But the probes have seen where the Jonah ice fish live, and there's just hundreds of thousands of these nests in the soil under the ice shelf where these
undisturbed, just bird,
and they're the keynote species that all the penguins eat and all the seals. Some of them eat penguins, but they also eat the Jonah ice fish, and that's all down there. Okay,
how we have. I know now I'm going to get like esoteric on you. I'm going to get political a little bit for you.
Good, man.
I know Linda. You know how I do. I just you start talking. I'm like, I get fired up. Okay, so here's my question. Again, with the Linda Moulton, I know there's species, but her main thing. Look at glitch right when I said this. Okay, here's my thing. Between the reptilians, the Greys, and the Nordics, which was what she said are the three main races fighting over Earth, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like, okay, if they're the three main races competing over Earth, wouldn't it behoove of one of those groups to befriend the disclosure community and actually give one group or one portion of the population who is energetically and consciously ready for the truth, the information? Like, imagine if they're in a war, let's just say, Brad.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? There's allies and there's enemies, correct?
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is, who are the allies of the starseeds? Who are the allies? And again, I know there's more than those three species. No one talks about the mantids. Right. They should. Okay, the controllers of the illusion, or the ant people that the Hopi talk about that took them into the tunnels, right, during the last flood. So I'm just trying to say from your gut or what you're feeling with this interaction. What I'm getting to is they're going to disclose certain things. They're going to tell the public, hey, we found this, we found this, we found this. Now, when they sent that one, who was the guy that walked on the moon, supposedly, when they sent him down to Antarctica? What's his name?
Olsen.
Okay, Buzz. What was the deal with him? Like, I saw what evil was. What was that about? You saw that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, tell me what you think he saw.
Right. So his Twitter post says, we're all in danger. I've seen the face of evil. And he did a photo of the Great Pyramid of Antarctica, which some think harkens back to Atlantis. That could be antediluvian civilization, the remnants, the fingerprints of the gods. So Buzz goes down there in that same year that all these celebrities and kings and government officials like John Kerry goes.
I mean, that guy hasn't been relevant in 25 years. I mean, but Kerry went down there. Okay,
Kerry goes down there when he should have been campaigning for Hillary in 2016.
That guy should have been taking a nap in Missouri somewhere. I mean, what are we doing, Kerry? But yeah, that goes back to the families, the bloodlines, the groups, the skull and crossbones, the representatives. I get it. My thing is that I'm trying to find like some sort of a homeostasis reasoning between certain I guess, levels of consciousness. Because Brad, as you well know, a lot of these devices, especially the ancient ones, right, they work with consciousness. Right. You have to be consciously on enough to sync with something and then mentally, right, tell it, open the doors. Right. And I just feel that maybe some of these groups don't have the, like, for example, my brother JP, he watched an entire group of indigenous people in one of those arcs, and his story, mind you, open the door and access the computer that the people that were there working on the ship for 6 months couldn't do. So what I'm getting to is, do you think it's a DNA thing? Do you think it's a timing thing? Right? Or do you think that the people or the military, whoever these groups are, have access to, can't open these things because they're not the chosen ones? You know what I mean? We talk about the 144 all the time. I see these things. I think we could walk through Antarctica like we're going to a museum. I would see many things that reflect like, I kind of remember that. You know what I mean? I think some of us wouldn't be in complete like, oh my God, the sky is falling, Brad. The sky. There's a 12-foot Anunnaki. I think some of us would be like, yeah, I kind of remember that. That's cool. They still have those. Like, I think some of us are going to have more flashbacks, and I think I know how to operate that. But what I'm getting to, that being the case, we're not a controlled mechanism that these groups, families, or militaries can control. So they will never let us have access, even though it's like the bully on the play yard that has no talent. I got to be honest. I feel like these guys have all the pianos in the universe and none of them knows how to play the piano. You know what I mean? They can play chopsticks. Dun, 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 dun. So I'm saying, when you were down there, I know I asked you this before with your dream time. Did you have any crazy dreams? My buddy, Ben, was in the Navy. He was stationed, and he actually he was stationed off Antarctica. And wow. He said his dream time, and like I said, like, some of these military ships, he was telling me all kinds of crazy things that, sometimes the diagnostics officer, especially in the submarines and stuff, they don't really show how fast they're going. So all of a sudden they know they're going from here to here, but they'll get there way faster than a normal submarine could actually travel underwater. There's all kinds of weird things that certain people, even in the military, are compartmentalized to the technology they're truly operating, right? So he had crazy dreams down there. He was like, I had like beings try to talk to me, attach to me. It was not like, it was like an ET phone home situation down there. Did you experience any of that?
Yeah, we did have crazy dreams. We were always dreaming every night anyways.
Yeah.
We also got to experience the midnight sun. That's pretty cool.
How was that?
Yeah, well, it was only about 3 hours of night because we got to within 1 degree of the Antarctic Circle. And so when you're that far down south, and we were there in January, end of January. So it was already about 5 weeks after summer solstice down there, but the days were super long. So you could just do a lot of stuff. And then when the sun's out, you don't sleep as much. But
oh yeah, you're up. You're like, I remember in Alaska. I was there in the summertime. They have like those blackout curtains. It's sunny at 3 a.m. You're like, your body doesn't know what to do with it, So when do you think, like, I would like you to make an educated guess. What do you think we're going to get first? Truth about Antarctica, right? And you guys in the post can go ahead and chime in too, and all the comments across the planet from here to Asia, New Zealand, all my Kiwis, Australians out there, it's daytime. Here's my prediction.
Just when you froze up.
What do you think we're going to get first? Disclose the UAP, or do you think that, when are we going to get Antarctica disclosure? What do you think? In the next 2 or 3 years? Obviously with the civilian population, creating like the awesome book you have coming out, we'll talk about that more. But when do you think we're going to get truth about Antarctica?
Yeah, I think that's coming first, to be honest with you. Might be as soon as this season, which is now. It starts in November. It goes until March. Because areas are opening up. There's melting in some regions, and then the ice is raising in others. There is changes going on down there, but it's not raising the sea level rise as you would think, because it's snowing heavier and increasing in some areas. It's quite a paradox. But on the back of my book, I say all roads lead to Antarctica. Of course, no roads lead to Antarctica, but all roads in disclosure lead there. And this is where I think one big breakthrough, or maybe just the NSA says, all right, stand down, let them in. And I know where to go. I know where to go to the pyramid. I know where to go to the hole in the ice. I know where to go to New Schwaben.
Okay, I like this. I wish you had a picture of the pyramid. Okay, what's the slope angle of the pyramid? What are we talking? Is it a Giza? Is it a Nubian? How sharp is it?
Yeah, it's bigger than the Giza pyramid. I have it measured at 2 kilometers per side, much bigger in that sense. But we did some measurements on Google Earth, and it's actually smaller than that.
What about the slope angle? What angle do you think it's at?
It's probably at about a 45-degree angle. Similar.
Okay. So a little. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So all right. Beautiful. Okay. Do you know what the material it is? Is it black?
It's very blackish. It's got snow on it. Of course, I've got images in my book. I've located 3 pyramid fields in Antarctica, and I can't tell you for sure if all of them are made by intelligent hands, but even if one of them is, it's a complete game changer, because then we're looking at an advanced civilization that's buried under the ice down there. But there's also pyramids in the Oats land, pyramids in the Shackleton mountain range, and then pyramids in the Ellsworth mountain range. And that's where the Great Pyramid, it's called the Great Pyramid of Antarctica, that Ancient Aliens did shows on, that is most commonly seen all around.
So, you know how, like, Black Rock, right? The North Pole, it's made, this huge, mountain coming out of the ground. Yeah. It's made of the black rock, right? So here's my question. When I was in Northern Ireland, and when I was sleeping and I was jumping into Greenland, astral projecting into Greenland, into the underground cities of Greenland, and seeing all the ancient infrastructure that's in the ground in Greenland, which used to be the old North Pole before the pole shift, right? And actually 2 pole shifts, I believe, because all of what Giza, Chichen Itza, and everything point to Greenland around 33 to 38,000 years ago. So I think it was 2 pole shifts ago. So my question is it a rotation of 360, or does it go almost like one of those, like those little things that water your lawn, ching, 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 and it snaps back? You know what I mean? It's not going like this.
No, it doesn't go all the way around.
Is this going far left, and then it's going to bounce back, maybe back to Greenland being the North Pole? Okay.
Right, yeah. Because the evidence is, once again, down in Antarctica. There's a place called Mount Buckley, and it's at the top of the Beardmore Glacier. And the Scott Party, which was second to arrive at the South Pole right after the Norwegian Amundsen beat them by 35 days in 1913. But they were collecting fossils from Mount Buckley that show ferns and other plants that could have only grown when Antarctica was a steaming hot jungle.
Yeah.
There are species of dinosaurs that are only found down there, only in Antarctica. And of course, dinosaurs, reptiles are cold-blooded. They need to live in hot climates. So Antarctica has moved to its present location. It had once been a part of Gondwana land or Pangaea, and then through a series of pole shifts has been slowly shifting down to the bottom of the world. And that's East Antarctica. That's 3 billion years old. Whereas West Antarctica, that sinuous finger, came down through the mid-Atlantic ridge. And Dr. Michael Sala, he's been a great resource on this book as well. And we've done a number of interviews. And he told me that he gave me GPS coordinates for what could have been Atlantis. And I've looked at those and I've reprinted them in the book. And Rion, I'm telling you, it's like city grids, even under the ice, that they're finding with these scans.
I'm sure it's an advanced civilization. They're going to have full-blown infrastructure like a city. And I was just talking to my guides. I was like, okay, so when did the Sakaar show up? Because there were domestic reptilians on this planet that naturally evolved here. And they said around 10,200 years ago is when the Sakar got here. So if the Sakar, which are draconian, took over an old Anunnaki base, right? So if you scan, the surface from a ship, you will see, they probably was scanned in that old Anunnaki base. Obviously, the Anunnaki, from what they say with different SSP guys, okay, I haven't been to Antarctica, but the story is that when they were digging stuff up, they found Anunnaki flash frozen, still in the ice. So when the pole shift happened, it was so fast that when the water rushed in, it flash froze and everyone in the city. So I'm just trying to get to I don't know, the political, rhyming and reason. It's important for everyone out there to have these discussions. Everyone on this planet, you guys are a part of this decision with me and Brad. Brad has all of the documentation and, to obviously talk more about the history of the place. I'm trying to figure out the rhyme and the reason, right? With the different species interacting with us. What are the principalities that are governing the control system on this planet? And why all of these governments would try to keep the truth of all of us civilians out of Antarctica. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's a big deal. I mean, you can't go farther than this line or a warship shows up and goes, turn around. You can go into the port that, is for all the, I like to say that the port of Antarctica is kind of like Bunny Flats at Mount Shasta. They're like, you stay right here, right in this chute. And don't go to the right or the left where the ETs are. You just stay right here. So I just think there's a lot of things that the future generations need to know about these locations. And, I'm really happy, Brad, that you wrote this book because, if it wasn't for gentlemen like you and some of these real, truthers out there, it wouldn't be in the collective consciousness to even ask these questions. You know what I mean? You have to first see what's going on and go, well, why is there a pyramid there? Yeah. What's the pyramid made out of? How long's it been there? You know what I mean? Well, who built it? We always have these questions, but I can give you a hint. It's older than 12,000 years old. Let me give you a little tip. I guarantee it's older than 12,000 years old. So with that being said, what do you think the future for, that location is? Do you think Trump's going to do something about Antarctica? I know he's going after Greenland. Yeah. And I know he's doing the Monroe documents. This is all happening live right now. Okay. He's going after this whole thing. So the Monroe document, you want to talk about that? Because I know you're a history buff. 1838, the Monroe document, which is everything in the Western Hemisphere is under the United States. That's what it states, right? So what I'm getting
past that, that would be in our hemisphere, right? So in Greenland is crucial because if there was ever a nuclear exchange with Russia, Greenland would be able to intercept the missiles. There's a lot of trade going on in the Arctic Ocean now. And of course, we want to control those trade routes. China is making their move just like they were in Venezuela. And that's also been ascribed to the Monroe doctrine that we would control this hemisphere. And so, like it or not, Trump is asserting his military will, and he's getting his way, and he's making it happen.
My deal is that, the hidden hand behind Trump, what are they trying to reveal? What's really going on? There's layers to this, Brad. There's 15 layers to the narrative they're saying on the boob tube. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just trying to say with that, is this something that we should ask Vance? Hey, Vance, 3 years in advance, can you open up a cruise line and take us to the museum in Antarctica? You know what I mean? How long is this going to take and who's controlling this timeline? I just have basic questions, Brad. You know what I mean? Who's controlling our level of consciousness and the things that we incarnated to experience? See, when I'm getting into this free will game, I know me and you, Brad, we're very free-spirited beings. I didn't incarnate on a planet. I don't care what the rules are of this place to be compartmentalized and not get to experience the planet or the earth that I chose to incarnate into. Wouldn't you love to see what's going on in the ground in Antarctica? Wouldn't you love? I would love to just walk through it like a museum. I don't think people are going to overreact. I don't think this is a rosebud situation. Orson Welles, old people, the aliens from Mars are landing on the roof. You know what I mean? And people are losing their minds. I think this is like, yeah, we know UAPs are real. They've already come out in Congress and Senate and said straight up, yes, there are things moving in the ocean. There are cities in the ocean. There is technology in the oceans. We can't explain it to you. Yes, there is technology in Antarctica that literally can control the weather, HARP, and everything else. That's so advanced. It can literally move weather around the planet. So my thing is this a deep state hold? Is that a deep state control mechanism that is maybe inherited or worked with whatever Buzz Aldrin saw down there? I really saw the evil. What did you see? A reptilian dude without his mask on? What did you really see? You know what I mean? So there's just something. I'm just not to put all the pieces together for the public, but there's something going on where that disclosure is necessary because all of a sudden we get back some of our true history and this entire menagerie collapses. And Brad, I know you're a history buff. Why don't you tell them a little tidbit about I remember I've seen your presentations. Yeah. Tell the public something interesting they might not know. I mean, you're just insane with the amount of data you have.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so let it rip.
The real crux of the book that has never been seen in the Western world yet. Only very, very few have experienced this Russian journalist, Nikolai Subotin, and his releasing of these German U-boat maps. To me, this is a smoking gun. To me, this is saying, look, the Germans found their way in there, and there are letters that came out of people saying, we're not prisoners, we're going down here. There was thousands of people that went missing after World War II out of Germany. They took Ukrainian women for the scientists and the soldiers for their wives. Even Croatian women volunteered to go. And they had a recruitment policy very similar to our secret space program, is that they would look for orphans, people that were orphaned in the war or just came from a broken family. And they would say, hey, we need you down in Antarctica. And it was pretty much a one-way trip. A couple of years ago, Linda Moulton Howe and Dr. Michael Sala reported on a bunch of Antarctica Germans showing up at the McMurdo base in the dead of winter, just showed up there on snowmobiles and snowcats and say, get us out of here. We got to go. And they did. They got them out of there. But it was interesting. They were all German, and it was right around the time that they were taking out some of the underground bases, the deep underground military bases, the DUMs. So anytime you hear about a 5.5 earthquake 10 kilometers down, Gene Decode was pointing out that they took out the tube tunnel that went to South America right before those Germans showed up. And also, very recently, you've got Stuart Swerdlow, who is one of the last of the Montauk boys. He's doing a bunch of interviews now, and one of his recent ones with Dr. Michael Sala and Nino Rodriguez, he's saying he knows some of the Antarctica Germans, and they don't know how to tell the world because they think everybody's going to freak out, and they probably would. Mm-hmm. How are they going to explain that there's been a Fourth Reich for the last 70 years?
I mean, they already say they didn't want to be called Nazis. I'll just be like, hi, this is my friend Hans. Hans, come to the camera. Hans, can you tell them how you were raised in Antarctica? Hans, like, I mean, these guys are making this thing so complicated. Here's what I'm trying to say, ladies and gents, for our generations. We got to stop looking to our parents or our grandparents to give us permission slips to ask these questions. Everyone on Trump's team, Rubio, the new Secretary of Defense, was it Hegsworth or Heggs? These guys are all in their 40s, dude. These guys were all born in the early 80s. These are our people. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to stop with this compartmentalization and really start getting down to the nitty gritty of where the human race is going in the future. And if there's 3 battling species, right, over this planet, shouldn't we know which ones to support?
Yeah.
Don't you think that would be common knowledge? Like, hey, don't do that. That's reptilian. Or hey, don't do that. That's some gray shit. Hey, the Nords are kind of cool. I mean, I would like to know just what team are we on, guys? Can someone put it in the comments? We're Team Light. Listen, I'm sorry to ask a very common, intelligent question. What team are we on here? I mean, I'm here for the ascension of the human race.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not on that team, I don't know what you're. So that's just how I feel. I'm like, we are hybrids of many different species. Lyrian, Andromedans, Arcturians, Syrians, bro. You know, not just these three that are vying over the planet. So I'm just kind of making a call out for you guys. Go ahead and put what species or what, star race you guys herald from in the comments on Facebook and Instagram, baby. I want to speed this timeline up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to say it nicely, because here's the thing. The longer we don't know the truth, the easier it is for us to be bamboozled. The easier it is, as long as we don't know the type of technology these guys have at Area 51, and they've been building with Skunk Works and all this shit, then all of a sudden we get that, what's the name of that program where they do the holograms in the sky and they use drones to shoot?
Bluebeam.
Yeah, I don't want to get a Project Bluebeam. I don't know what these guys are doing over here with our tax money. I don't want a Project Bluebeam. I want to know, okay, so that's one of ours. Got it. Okay, so we do have T3RBs that can fly from here to the moon. Got it. Okay, so we do have this type of technology. Some of us are like, we get you guys want to make money. We get that you guys are like, this is all you guys do. And you've like convinced yourself you're really important, using these certain substances on the planet. For everyone else who incarnated here to balance the planet while we ascend into a higher frequency, what about for us? I'm like, it's cool if the normal population doesn't want to ask these questions. What about for the true seekers, the true truthers out there, you who want to know the truth?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you don't want to know the truth, that's fine. Go to NPC land, play video games all day, and I'm sure you can order some on Amazon. Have a great trip. For the rest of us who incarnated, I'd like to know my true family's heritage. I'd like to know the true DNA signature I carry. I would like to know who's come before us and how many great ones, stories, and people have come before, and where's the knowledge they shared. Not one set of emerald tablets out of 1 billion people on a planet. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. We got one set of tablets. Wait, let me get this straight. How many people were on this planet before the catastrophe? You guys got 7 plates? That's all you got. So what I'm trying to say is this bullshit. When they go in these old pyramids, Linda Moulton House said the entire wall is hieroglyphics. Yeah. They wrote everything down on the walls. Everything. And you go to Egypt, go to Hathor's temple. They wrote their entire script on the wall and etched it in stone. So there's a disconnect here. And I just want people to kind of pick up the pace. We're about to get some real disclosure, more so than just ship showing up in the next 600 days. I'm trying to get it so all of us are on a certain playing field, at least opening your mind to start asking different questions. You know what I mean? You have to at least open your mind up to go, okay, Brad's got pictures of U-boat maps. There's a pyramid in Alaska. I've seen the picture. Okay, in this book, there's all this documentation and all of these things that have happened there. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to start unpacking this. Brad, what are some more things you feel are relevant right now for the younger generations that are 20 and 30 years old? What should they be asking? You know what I mean? What are some of the questions they should be pondering right now?
Well, we're in the middle of the Great Awakening, and the Great Awakening only started during the COVID era. So we're only 5 years into it, but it does seem to be accelerating quite rapidly. I do have images of those hieroglyphs in the basalt craft, and I know exactly where it's located, near the Beardmore Glacier. Linda Moulton Howe told me about it, told me where it is, Spartan 1 and 2, and I recount the story of how they went in. And not only is there the wall of hieroglyphs, which kind of look not quite, but they look like Egyptian hieroglyphs. They're something totally different. But in the middle of it is the emblem of the black sun. And the black sun is deep occultic knowledge of the Anunnaki society and those that went really deep with the esoteric knowledge in Germany. It's etched on the floor of the Wieselberg Castle in Germany. So I'm going to give my talk in Germany in May. I'll be there. I want to go to the Wieselberg Castle and check out the Black Sun. And by the way, if it wasn't etched in the floor,
it wouldn't be there. They would have hidden it. Yeah.
That image is illegal to display in Germany, just as the swastika is, and just as the model Honeyboo craft made by Revell. Remember, we used to build battleships and stuff with plastic when we were kids?
Yeah.
You can get a UFO, and it's a design of the Honeyboo craft, but you cannot buy those in Germany. So right after Rise of the Guardians, I fly out to Germany, and I'm going to give this talk about the German U-boats.
Okay.
Technology.
Dude, what do you think that symbol is? So the Black Sun, what are your interpretations of what that represents?
The inner sun in the
inner sun, inner earth sun.
Yes.
Now, what about the Saturnians and that religion? Is that based upon the Black Sun in Saturn?
Well, I think that's something different. That's more the black cube. Is the Saturnian cult.
Okay, so the central sun is the Black Sun then.
Correct.
So is that the sun for Agartha? Is that the sun that's in the inner earth?
All of it. Yep.
Okay, so here's my question. Why does it have such negative connotations? Because it's basically letting everyone know that there is an underworld or underground civilization. There are beings down there, and they want everyone on the surface dumb as rocks, thinking that we sailed the 7 seas. And so I don't know, the Christopher Columbus story. You know what I mean? Tell me, what do you think it is? Why do they really hide it?
Well, it could also be free energy. It could be a symbol of tapping into the prana, which Tesla was working on. And also the Germans were working on it. They called it vril energy. And once you tap into that, you have unlimited free energy forever. So the Black Sun logo could also have something to do with that.
Like anti-gravitic craft or power.
Right. Yeah.
Powering
the UFOs. Right.
Got it. Let's get some element 115 from Bob Lazar. You know what I mean? Hey, Bob. Yeah, we know.
Unobtainium.
Yeah. Let me get like a dime worth of element 115, Bob. So cool, dude. Okay, so I always wondered about that, and that logo was everywhere. So it's very interesting. You know, it
would be on the UFO craft in Antarctica, and also in the Wieselberg Castle. Similar giveaway that they were tapping into the same knowledge on this.
Okay, so that being the symbolism of the central sun. Okay, so how I was described who the Illuminati were and the Illuminari were, they showed me a depiction of Hermes' staff. It was the snake was going down, was the group that was to manage the inner earth, the Illuminari. They wore gold robes. The snake coming up the staff towards the eagle was the Illuminati. They were supposed to monitor the surface. The eagle that sits on top of Hermes' staff was supposed to be the Galactic Command, or the Galactics, which sit over everything. That's how it was explained to me. I don't know about my higher self just told me that. And I'm a dumb blonde from Orange County, and I know something that many people don't. I don't know. But that's how it was explained to me with the different robes. Because when I first woke up, I saw the monks in the red robes watching me as I woke up on the 29th, March 16th, 2009. When I woke up, I saw a monk in a red robe on my roof staring at me as my third eye opened. So I was like, okay. So I don't know my take on it for the robes, mind you. Like imagine monks like they have in was it Shangri-La? Remember the inner earth, Shangri-La, and all that stuff. And that was my interpretation of what those words meant. Obviously, it's probably not those English words in that religion. Did you see the Kronos missions and what they're talking about on Cosmic Disclosure and how? What's that dude's name with the glasses? Doolittle? what's his name? You know, the little guy's like, I used to work for the USS. You're under arrest. What's his name? Yeah. Say his name. What's his name?
Oh, the cartoon character?
No, the guy on Cosmic Disclosure. You know, Emery's not on there right now, but they interviewed this guy. Anyways, he was like, he worked for the military. He said that when they did a mission to Pluto, you guys have to watch it on Cosmic Disclosure. If you guys know what I'm talking about, put it in the description for everyone to watch. Check this out. He said that when they went there and they had like robots with them, and when they entered the base, it was a mining operation on Pluto. And there was a picture hanging of an Asian king from the 1600s on the wall and a bunch of robots that were like offline. And now it's the craziest thing, right? So I was asking myself, Asian king, 1630s. Why would his painting be on Pluto? What was the interaction with the inner earth? Why is the inner sun, even in Germany on the surface, illegal to put on any building? What was the Tartarian Empire? How advanced was their technology? We're not even thinking that the Tartarian Empire, right, was actually spacefaring. Right. Have you ever thought about that? Everyone's like, oh, they had free energy and they lit the little things, but no one's actually thinking about, whoa, what if that group for hundreds of years had this sort of technology that was working with ETs and whatnot? So just an interesting concept to throw out there. Because I said Antarctica holds many of these secrets, many of that history I think that we're missing. I think Antarctica has it. You know what I mean? So to wrap that up, my brother, what else would you like to share? And I know you're coming to Rise of the Guardians May 8th through the 10th. How do you feel about that? I mean,
oh, man,
I'm pumped to see you.
Yeah, every time we hang out, we always get into some deep conversations. And
you know what? Listen, it's just me and you in the room. The whole world's watching, but I'm just like, hey, I'm like, and the whole time I'm talking to you, Brad, I'm seriously going like, Brad, just say it. Don't it's like right here. He's like, I'm not going to say that. Galactic Command's going to get upset with me. Let him say it. What I'm trying to say is that we're going to put this thing together for the public. And I just want you guys to know that there are portions of the population that are processing these realities right now. We're not waiting for the government to tell us on CNN that this shit's real. We're processing, we're evolving, and we're awakening into a higher form of consciousness. And Brad, it's been an absolute pleasure, my brother, having you on Team Light interviews this evening.
Oh man, it's always my pleasure to talk to you too, Rion.
So where can everyone find your book?
So you can go to cccpublishing.com, and that's where my books are. And
I'm gonna type that in right now. cccpublishing.com.
Yep. Laura Eisenhower's books there. Michael Jaco, Leo Lyons-Agami, other authors. And you can also find me at bradolsen.com, and that's where my upcoming conference schedule is. In fact, I'll be in Tucson, Arizona next month for Tucson MUFON.
Oh, for the MUFON. Yeah. I was gonna say, are you coming to the gym show? I'm going.
Oh, they're just flying me in one day. I'm speaking, then flying right back.
Flying right out.
Pretty quickie.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I love you, Brad. It's been an absolute pleasure, my brother. And I look forward to our next interaction. And everyone out there, check out Brad's new book. I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
It is. Thanks so much, Rion. Really appreciate it. Great talking to you tonight. Looking forward to seeing you at Rise of the Guardians. We're going to rock this thing.
Yes, sir. Till next time. Peace.
Turn off the light. Take a deep breath and relax.
From the stars we came, ancient souls awake. We are the enlightened, our to the seventh dimension. Ascending to a higher dimension. My source burns with passion. The creator is my guide, my spark ignites the world and burns like 1,000 suns. Ascension to the seventh dimension. The seventh dimension calling us tonight. Feel the energy surge, the heart chakra expand. Source light descending across the land. We are the way.